Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Vrinda श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय। श्रील वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat reading. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya Khanda, chapter 3. Uh, Lord Chaitanya's deliverance of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and the Lord showing of the Shadbhuja Gauranga form to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and then the Lord's travels to Bengal. So now, so far we saw how the Lord delivered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, how he revealed the Shadbhuja Gauranga form. After Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya explained, or he kind of expressed, his surprise at Mahaprabhu's acceptance of sannyas at such a young age, um, and also how he already had this great devotional service, why he even needed to accept the sannyas order, because when one takes sannyas he becomes very proud, and quoting from various from the scripture from various places, from Srimad Bhagavatam, from Bhagavad Gita, from Shankaracharya, he proved that uh, when one is a true sannyasi, he's actually a very, very humble person, offering his obeisances to all living entities, and with great feeling, he's always chanting the names of Lord Narayan, serving Lord Narayan. That is a true sannyasi. So then Mahaprabhu and then besides, how could Mahaprabhu justify his acceptance of sannyas at such a young age? Sannyas is generally accepted when one is, when 3/4 of one's life has passed. That's when they accept sannyas. After seeing the futility of materialistic way of life, when one accepts sannyas in maturity, then he can sustain. But Mahaprabhu is still so young. How is his acceptance of sannyas justified like that? So Mahaprabhu said, actually, I'm not a sannyasi. That's why I have come to take shelter of you. I have simply shaved my head, shaved my sikha, uh, and left home because I was tormented by separation from Lord Jagannath. That's why I have come here. But I am not a real sannyasi. And then after saying this, Mahaprabhu revealed his six-armed form to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, seeing that form, he just fainted, he became unconscious. And Mahaprabhu put his hand on the head of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and then uh, he came to consciousness once again, but he was stunned with ecstasy. And then Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Sarvabhauma, do you accept that now I am qualified to accept sannyas?" Like that. Uh, so let's see what happened after that. We'll continue reading from there. Then Lord Chaitanya, who is an ocean of mercy, placed his lotus feet over Sarvabhauma's heart. Now that he had attained the Lord's graceful feet, Sarvabhauma became filled with ecstatic love, tightly holding the Lord's lotus feet and declaring, "Today I have found the thief that stole my heart." He wept with love and bliss. Also, yesterday we had seen how Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur explains that the Lord, uh, the, the whole purpose of the Lord's descent to this world is to please his devotees. The more a devotee serves and worships the Lord, the more the Lord serves and worships his devotee. And when the Lord wants to hide himself from a devotee, his true identity from a devotee, then who has the power to know him? So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is, and the Lord tells Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya after revealing his form, the Lord told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that for many, many lifetimes you have been rendering devotional service to me. That's why I am revealing myself to you. So when Sarvabhauma saw the form of the Lord, he went into, he tightly, after the Lord placed his lotus feet on the heart of Sarvabhauma, he tightly held on to those lotus feet. And he declared, "Today I have found the thief that stole my heart." He wept with love and bliss, holding the wonderful lotus feet that are Goddess Lakshmi's great treasure. Sarvabhauma loudly wept. He said, "Sri Krishna Chaitanya, my Lord, Master of my life, Lord, please place your glance on fallen me. Not understanding your inconceivable pure heart, sinful, I tried to teach religion to you, my Lord, who, beginning with the great kings of yoga, is not beginning with the great kings of yoga, is not bewildered by your Maya. Why should you not have the power to bewilder me? Lord, please give me loving devotion to your feet. Glory, glory to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the master of my life. Glory, glory to the Lord, come from saintly Sachi's womb. Glory, glory to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the life of all. Glory, glory to the Lord who protects the Vedas, Brahmanas, devotees, and principles of religion. Glory, glory to the master of Vaikuntha and all the worlds. Glory, glory to the best of the sannyasis, a sannyasi whose form is pure and spiritual. Speaking verse after verse, intelligent and saintly, Sarvabhauma again and again glorified the Lord. He said, "Kalanashtam bhakti yogam nijam yaha pradushkartum Krishna Chaitanya nama आविर्भूतस्तस्य पादारविन्दे गाढं गाढं लीयतां चित्तभृङ्गः." Let my consciousness, which, like a honeybee, takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has just now appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach the ancient system of devotional service to himself. This system had almost been lost due to the influence of time. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is composing verses on the spot. This verse means, "May my heart stay at the lotus feet of the Lord, who bears the name Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and who, to again reveal the truth of devotional service to him, a truth that by the power of time had become hidden after some days, descended to this world. I'll read that line again. May my heart stay at the lotus feet of the Lord, who bears the name Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and who, to again reveal the truth of devotional service to him, a truth that by the power of time had become hidden after some days, descended to this world. Then Sarvabhauma said, वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेकः पुरुषः पुराणः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपाम्बुधिर्यस्तमहं प्रपद्ये. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real religion or to teach us real knowledge. His devotional service and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender at his lotus feet. This verse means to teach his devotional service and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness, to teach his devotional service and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has mercifully descended to this earth. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the oldest of all persons, now manifests his form as Sri Krishna Chaitanya. No one in the three worlds is his equal or superior. May the feet, transcendental qualities, and holy names of that Supreme Lord, who is an ocean of mercy, always stay in my heart. May the feet, transcendental qualities, and holy names of that Supreme Lord, who is an ocean of mercy, always stay in my heart. Speaking 100 verses like this, as he grasped the Lord's lotus feet, Sarvabhauma glorified Lord Chaitanya. He said, to deliver the fallen, you have descended to this world. O Lord, I am fallen. Therefore, please deliver me also. I am tightly shackled. Education, wealth, and aristocratic family are the shackles that bind me. How will I understand you? O Master of all living entities, please be merciful to me. Day and night, please stay in my thoughts. Lord, your pastimes are inconceivable and unapproachable. Unless you reveal the truth about them, who has the power to understand them? Assuming a transcendental wooden form of Daru Brahma, you stay in Jagannath Puri and happily enjoy many kinds of opulent foods. What you have eaten, you give back as your mercy. You gaze at yourself and weep. Gazing at yourself, you become like a wild man. Lord, who knows your greatness? Only a person who has attained your mercy can understand you. I am worthless like a pile of ashes. How can I understand you? Who bewilders the hearts of Brahma, Shiva, and the demigods. Now that he had attained the Lord's mercy, in a voice charged with emotion, Sarvabhauma spoke many plaintive prayers. Hearing these prayers, six-armed Lord Chaitanya Narayan smiled and said to Sarvabhauma, Sarvabhauma, listen, you are my eternal associate. That is why you may see my glories. You are the reason I came here. You worship me again and again. I am very pleased by your words glorifying devotional service. I declare that all you said was true. How could anything but the truth come from your mouth? Whoever hears or reads the 100 verses of prayers you have spoken, huh? Whoever hears or reads the 100 verses of prayers you have spoken will attain true devotional service without doubt. These prayers will become famous as Sarvabhauma Shataka, Sarvabhauma's 100 prayers. Conceal from the others whatever you have seen of my glories. I forbid you to talk of it as long as I stay on this earth. Lord Nityananda is my second body. You should devotedly serve his feet. What I have said about him is very confidential. Only when I reveal the truth can anyone understand him. After explaining these spiritual truths to Sarvabhauma, Lord Chaitanya stopped the manifestation of his opulences and became as he was. Recognizing his Lord, saintly Sarvabhauma was not in external consciousness. He was filled with bliss. Anyone who hears Lord Chaitanya's glories crosses beyond the world of birth and death and goes to Lord Chaitanya's spiritual abode. Simply by hearing these very confidential descriptions of Lord Krishna, one goes to Lord Krishna. In this way, Lord Chaitanya delivered Sarvabhauma. In Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya enjoyed pastimes of kirtan. He was always wrapped in the bliss of singing and dancing. Day and night, tasting the nectar of love for Lord Krishna, he knew nothing else. Seeing these wonders, the people of Jagannath Puri again and again called out, Hari! He is the moving Jagannath, the people said. There was not a person that did not forget everything else when he saw Lord Chaitanya. Unending sounds of Hari were always heard in whatever path Lord Chaitanya walked. Wherever Lord Chaitanya had placed his feet, everyone rolled in the dust. Rolling in that dust, the saintly people felt indescribable bliss. The Lord's peerless handsomeness always stole everyone's heart. A flood of bliss always flowed as tears from his graceful eyes. The names Hare Krishna alone were heard coming from his graceful mouth. His limbs were anointed with sandal paste. His graceful slow motions defeated the motions of graceful wild lions. Walking on the path, the Lord was not in external consciousness. In this way, Lord Chaitanya enjoyed pastimes of tasting the nectar of devotional service. One day, the Lord met Paramananda Puri, who had just returned from a pilgrimage. Seeing him from afar, Lord Chaitanya at once stood up. Seeing his dear devotee and then happily dancing and reciting prayers, Lord Chaitanya tasted the nectar of ecstatic love. Raising his arms, he called out, Hari, Hari, with his eyes. He gazed at Paramananda Puri. He said, Today my eyes are fortunate. Today my birth in this world has become fortunate and successful. Today all my pious deeds have borne their fruits. The Lord said, Today my sannyas is a success. Today Madhavendra Puri has appeared before me. Speaking these words and embracing him, the Lord sprinkled his dear devotee with tears from his lotus eyes. Forgetting himself as he gazed at the moon of the Lord's graceful face, Paramananda Puri became filled with bliss. After some moments, they offered obeisances to each other. Paramananda Puri was the abode of pure love for Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya was very pleased with him. He accepted him as a personal associate and kept him in his association. Having attained his Lord and now serving his lotus feet, Paramananda Puri was filled with bliss. Saintly Paramananda Puri was a dear disciple of Madhavendra Puri. He was filled with the nectar of ecstatic love. After some more days, Swarup Damodar met the Lord. Day and night he enjoyed pastimes in the Lord's company. Swarup Damodar's singing was full of nectar. Hearing it, Lord Chaitanya would dance. In this Antyakhanda, Swarup Damodar and Paramananda Puri attained Lord Chaitanya's association. Little by little, the Lord's eternal associates met him in Jagannath Puri. Little by little, the Lord's eternal associates that had taken birth in Orissa met the Lord. Pradyumna Mishra, who was spiritual love personified, met the Lord. The two great saints, Paramananda and Ramananda, also met him. After some days, Damodar Pandit and Sri Shankar Pandit also came. Pradyumna Brahmachari was a great servant of Lord Narasimha. Lord Narasimha personally lived in his body. Thinking Lord Narasimha now enjoys pastimes in a sannyasi's form, he stayed near Lord Chaitanya. Bhagavan Acharya was a great saint. He did not allow ordinary material news to touch his ears. In this way, all the Lord's servants came to his side. When they saw the Lord, all their sufferings perished. In the Lord's company, they enjoyed pastimes of kirtan. Now manifesting the form of a sannyasi, the king of Vaikuntha performed kirtan with his devotees. Tasting the nectar of Lord Chaitanya, peaceful and saintly Nityananda would become wild. He could not peacefully remain in one place. Gazing at Lord Jagannath, Nityananda suddenly ran to embrace him. The guards had no power to stop him. One day he climbed the golden altar and embraced Lord Balaram. A guard climbed after him and grabbed him with both hands. The guard was suddenly thrown back a distance of 5 or 7 hands. Taking the garland from Lord Balaram's neck, Lord Nityananda placed it around his own. Wearing the garland and walking like the king of elephants, Lord Nityananda left. The guard then thought in his heart, this sannyasi has strength that is not human strength. Who else could stay in his body after touching Lord Balaram? I am strong enough to hold and stop my grip. Although I tightly held this person with both my hands, I was thrown away like a blade of grass. Thinking in this way, the saintly guard was very humble when next he saw Lord Nityananda. Nityananda, who was always like a child, affectionately embraced the guard. One day, Lord Chaitanya, the husband of Goddess Lakshmi, went to the seashore and sat down. Gazing at that beautiful places by the seashore, Lord Chaitanya was very pleased. The moon shone, the southern breeze blew. Lord Chaitanya sat down by the seashore. His graceful face and limbs were splendid with sandal paste. With his graceful mouth he chanted, Hare Krishna without stop. His charming chest was covered with a flower garland. In the 4 directions his followers surrounded him. Smiling, the Lord looked at the beauty of the ocean waves at night. The saintly ocean now attained the same good fortune the Ganga and Yamuna attained in the past. Accompanied by his associates, the king of Vaikuntha stayed by the ocean's shore. The whole night the Lord performed a wild and joyful kirtan by the ocean's shore. Tasting the nectar of love for a person who is actually himself, Lord Chaitanya, the learned Pandit of wild dancing, danced wildly. Meanwhile, the devotees all swam in an ocean of bliss. The Lord manifested tears, trembling, perspiration, roaring, and shouting. The hairs of his body stood erect. Moment after moment, he manifested different kinds of ecstatic symptoms. After the different kinds of devotional ecstasies met on Lord Chaitanya's body, fully manifested, they stayed there. The different devotional ecstasies all assumed forms. They were all partial incarnations of the Lord. They were full of all knowledge. Wrapped in the ecstasy, a Vaishnava feels the Supreme Personality of Godhead danced. Knowing this, the devotees all stayed by his side. Not for a moment did Lord Chaitanya feel even half a sesame seed's worth of loving separation from the Lord. Not one, no one else can manifest even a little of the power that Lord Chaitanya manifested in his pastimes. Nothing is impossible for him. All the Vedas proclaim this truth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one else in the numberless universes can manifest the ecstatic love Lord Chaitanya manifested. No one else can manifest ecstatic love like what Lord Chaitanya manifested. Only persons who have attained the Lord's merciful glance have the power to understand Him. Persons who completely surrender to the Lord and serve Him with devotion break apart the bonds of repeated birth and death. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom Brahma, Shiva, and all the demigods meditate on in their hearts, now enjoyed pastimes of ecstatic love as He danced with His devotees. I offer my respectful obeisances to all the devotees who enjoyed pastimes of Kirtan with Lord Chaitanya. In this way, charming Lord Chaitanya spent the whole night dancing by the seashore. Gadadhar always stayed with the Lord. Never was the Lord apart from Gadadhar. Whether eating, sleeping, or walking about, Gadadhar served Lord Chaitanya at every moment. Gadadhar would read Srimad Bhagavatam to the Lord. Listening, the Lord would become wild by tasting the nectar of ecstatic love. Simply by hearing Gadadhar's voice, the Lord became happy. Accompanied by Gadadhar, the Lord visited the homes of the Vaishnavas. One day the Lord went to Paramananda Puri's monastery and sat down next to him. The Lord was very pleased with Paramananda Puri. They were close friends like Krishna and Arjun. They conversed about the secrets of Lord Krishna. The Lord always enjoyed Paramananda Puri's company. The water in Paramananda Puri's well was not good. Lord Chaitanya, the all-pervading super soul, knew all about it. Lord Chaitanya asked Paramananda, "How is the water in your well? Please tell, I will listen." Paramananda Puri replied, "The well is very bad. The water is horrible. It is mud personified." Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya said, "Alas, alas." He said, "Lord Jagannath is a miser. Anyone who touches the water of Paramananda's well becomes free of all sins. Lord Jagannath's Maya ruined this water, so no one will drink it." After speaking these words, Lord Chaitanya stood up, raised both his arms, and said, "O Jagannath, O great Master, please grant this boon to me. Please make the Ganga flow into this well. Please order the Bhagavati Ganga to flow from Patal Loka into this well." Hearing Lord Chaitanya's words, all the devotees loudly called out, "Hari!" After some moments, Lord Chaitanya went home and all the devotees went to sleep. Placing that order on her head, Goddess Ganga then entered the well and filled it. When they rose the next morning, everyone saw a great wonder. The well was now filled with very clear and pure water. Seeing this wonder, the devotees called out, "Hari!" Paramananda Puri fainted with joy, saying that Goddess Ganga had entered it. Everyone circumambulated the well. Hearing of this, Lord Chaitanya came. With a happy heart, he looked at the water. Lord Chaitanya said, "O devotees, please hear. Anyone who drinks this water or uses it to bathe attains the result of bathing in the Ganga. That is the truth. It is the truth. That person will attain very pure love and devotion to Lord Krishna." Hearing the Lord's words, all the devotees loudly called out, "Hari!" Then Lord Chaitanya very happily drank and bathed in the splendid transcendental water of Paramananda Puri's well. Then Lord Chaitanya very happily drank and bathed in the splendid transcendental water of Paramananda Puri's well. Then Lord Chaitanya said, "Please know that I came to this earth only because I love Paramananda Puri Goswami. I am Paramananda Puri Goswami's property. It is not otherwise. Paramananda Puri can sell me anywhere. Anyone who once sees Paramananda Puri will attain ecstatic love for Lord Krishna." After praising Paramananda Puri and blessing his well, Lord Chaitanya returned to his own home. The Supreme Personality of Godhead always glorifies his devotees. Who is such an ingrate that he would not worship such a Supreme Lord? To protect his devotees, the Supreme Lord descends to this world. He always enjoys pastimes with his devotees. To protect his devotees, he will do what should not be done. That he killed Vali for Sugriva's sake is the proof of this. Yeah, what will the Lord not do to protect his devotees? The proof of this is the Lord's killing of Vali for the sake of his devotee Sugriva. The Supreme Lord happily serves his servants, although he is never defeated by anyone. The lion, that is Lord Caitanya, allows himself to be defeated by his devotees. Accompanied by his devotees, the king of Vaikuntha enjoyed pastimes of kirtan by the ocean's shore. Sitting by the ocean's shore, Lord Chaitanya played in the blissful ocean of devotional service. Because goddess Lakshmi was born in its waters, the ocean became glorious again when the Supreme Lord descended as Sri Chaitanya. By bathing in the ocean there, the people of Jagannath Puri wash away all their sins. That is why goddess Ganga flows so swiftly to meet the glorious ocean at that place. Sitting by the shore, Lord Chaitanya made the ocean fortunate and glorious. When Lord Chaitanya came to Jagannath Puri, King Prataprudra was not in Orissa. The king was fighting a war with Vijayanagara. Therefore, at that time, he did not see Lord Chaitanya. After staying for some days at Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya happily returned to West Bengal. Filled with love for the Ganga, Lord Chaitanya quickly returned to Bengal, West Bengal. Sarvabhauma had a brother named Vidyavachaspati, who was peaceful, austere, religious, and very fortunate. Accompanied by his associates, Lord Chaitanya suddenly arrived at Vidyavachaspati's home. Attaining the king of Vaikuntha as a guest in his home, Vidyavachaspati at once offered Dandavat obeisances. Great bliss filled that Brahmana's body. He did not know what he should do. Embracing him, Lord Chaitanya said, "Please hear my words. In my heart, I have decided to go to Mathura, but first, for some days, I will bathe in the Ganga. Secretly staying at your home, for some days, I will bathe in the Ganga. Then finally, I will go to Mathura. If you wish to see me, you must help me in this." Hearing the Lord's words, with a humble heart, Vidyavachaspati spoke. The Brahmana said, "The many generations of my family have now become fortunate, for I have attained the dust of your feet. Everything in my house is yours. Please happily stay here. No one will know." Hearing these words, the Lord became happy. For some days he stayed at that glorious place. How can the sun be hidden? Soon everyone heard that Lord Chaitanya had come. In Navadvip and other places, everyone said, "The crest jewel of sannyasis now stays at Vidyavachaspati's home." Hearing these words, everyone felt great joy in their hearts. It was as if in their present bodies they were all transported to Vaikuntha. Forgetting wives, children, bodies, homes, and all else, everyone joyfully chanted Hari Hari. Everyone embraced everyone else. They said, "Look, let's all go to his feet." Speaking in this way, everyone was filled with joy. No one said anything about elders going in front or behind. Chanting Hari Hari, numberless millions of people went to see Lord Chaitanya. When the roads filled with people became impassable, many cut through the jungles to see the Lord. "Oh, my brothers, please hear these pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, pastimes where the Lord delivered all living entities." Breaking through thorny thickets, the people ran to see the Lord. Filled with bliss, no one felt any trouble. In a moment, the great crowds of people made their own splendid pathway through the jungles. Chanting Hari, the people came from every direction. By all of this, Lord Chaitanya was very pleased. Someone said, "I will grasp his feet and beg that he break the bonds that hold me to this world." Another person said, "When I see him with my eyes, I will attain everything. Why should I ask for anything more than that?" Another person said, "I did not know his glories, so I blasphemed him. My blasphemy had no limit. Holding his lotus feet to my heart, I will beg that he kill all my sins and offenses." Another person said, "My son is a compulsive gambler. I will pray for the boon that my son will no longer gamble." Another person said, "I will ask for the boon that my body and mind may never leave his lotus feet. Well, we have a lot more in this chapter, so we'll have to continue this a lot more. We'll have to continue this in the next session, which will be next Saturday. About the Lord's stay in Vidyavachaspati's house. That will be the theme next Saturday. Thank you all, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.